Government appears to be heading towards a shutdown as the Republican-led House failed to approve funding bills. All 7 Indiana Republicans voted for the measure to be passed, but all Democrats and 21 Republicans voted against the measure. The measure, if passed, would have cut most domestic programs by 30%. The Democratic majority Senate is considering a separate bill to keep the government open. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has said the House would reject that separate bill. We're now less than a day away from a likely government shutdown. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist explains what this means for us here in Indiana.
How a government shutdown would affect you ultimately comes down to 2 things: which services you use and how long the shutdown lasts. Let's begin with the big ticket items. Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security benefits would continue, but they might be delayed, and don't expect anyone to answer the customer service line.
Again, having worked in a congressional office, I remember, there were people who called, like, with their Social Security check was like a day late. That meant, bills weren't being paid. So there are a lot of people who depend on that and depend on the regularity of those federal benefits. And so any delay could be, quite catastrophic for a lot of Hoosiers.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits, or food stamps, should be okay as long as the shutdown doesn't go into November. Same with school meals. But Women, Infants, and Children program funding could dry up in a few days. The shutdown would begin on the same day federal student loan payments are due for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic began.
Even if the government shutdown is very short, I think there's already a high degree of confusion about what happens with those student loans. I think this will just add more problems to it.
New Pell Grants and federal direct student loans could continue for a limited time. The TSA and the FAA have to show up for work, so airports should function normally, unless those workers start calling in sick in large numbers, like they did last time.
And it caused some problems with travel. Something I have to think about because I'm going to Cambridge, Massachusetts this weekend, and we come back on Monday, ostensibly when the government shutdown happens.
And don't plan on visiting Indiana Dunes National Park. Park Service properties closed during previous shutdowns. Most government shutdowns since 1976 have lasted for a week or less, but the most recent shutdown in December of 2018 and January of 2019 went for a record 34 days. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.